I need sleep. I'm tired. If they just started the game with Nate Sudfeld, it would have been 21-0 off of right off the bat. I could have went to sleep.
Welcome to True Blue with Mike Viv and LPG.
Slowly during the week, all these little drips and drabs of, they're going to play Sudfeld and this. And every one of those players starting to not.
You saw it unfold.
We saw it unfold, and then,
I mean, it's literally a car accident, a very slow car accident. You see coming. You're sliding on ice down the block. There's nothing you can do. And look, Mike. To be honest with you, Giants and the Giant fans and everybody associated with the New York Football Giants, they have no one to blame but themselves. They didn't do a good enough job. They're not a good enough team. They only had 6 wins. All that stuff aside, because I didn't hear any Giant fan or anybody blaming somebody else. However, in game 256 of the NFL season, we could have used a little help. That's all. We're not blaming anybody as a fan base. It's just that you pulled a dick move, Eagles.
100%.
That's it. Look, I love. There's a lot to say now that it's happened and it's done and it's over with and no one's making the playoffs. Well, the Washington team, which is going to get crushed by Tampa. Now that it's said and done, I'm liking this more and more because this just fueled the fire for the Eagles and the Giants. Like I hated the Eagles. I don't know how it's possible that I can hate them even more today.
I guess you could say you hated them equally, but you tend to hate. I feel like you hate Dallas more.
Dallas, America's team, 5 Super Bowls, whatever they got. Like you couldn't really hate the Eagles because they never won one. And now that they won one, you could start to hate them a little bit. Well, it's a lot of bit, but it's always going to be Dallas in my eyes. And maybe the new fan base coming up, maybe the youngins, fueled to the fire with this type of stuff. Maybe the Eagles will take over the first place slot. You know what? I don't really care. I hate them all.
The Eagles are in real bad shape.
They're in cap hell.
Washington looks decent. They have a young star, Chase Young.
What are they going to do? What are they going to do at quarterback, bro?
Quarterback situation might be a little bit problematic, but they have a pretty good defense. Giants, we know that they're going to go 13-3 next season, but Philadelphia is in. Hold on, I'm just sharing this. They're in a world of hurt.
Look, in my eyes, the Philadelphia Eagles sold their soul for a Super Bowl. If I'm an Eagles fan, it was worth it. You won a Super Bowl. You could die. You could die now. And be happy about it. As far as selling their soul, it always catches up to you now, doesn't it? And now they're in cap hell. Every single one of their players hates Doug Peterson. I can't believe that he's not fired. And the only reason why I say that is because they hate him. They're not going to respect him next year.
What kind of locker room is that? We're going to bring on Clem from Barstool. I know that he's probably been tortured a little bit over the last couple of days. We had 1 day buffer. I thought yesterday was a good buffer day to not have us all a high-strung and maybe get a chance to sit on it for 24, 48 hours. Let's bring in Clem.
No doubt. You're out of your mind, by the way. We're all fired up still.
Oh, there he is.
Coming in hot license plate guy. That's why I love you. I wish I could have just seen you once the tweets went out about Sudfeld warming up, then he's in the game, just chaos going through your mind. It was like when the Booger Mobile was in front of you. You're like, Booger, get out of my way here.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Clem, I try not to be a douchebag on social media. I said I try. I already got myself blocked by Booger. I'm probably got myself blocked by every Eagles fan. But you know what? Mike Garafolo, he kind of ruined it for me a little bit because a few hours before the game, Mike tweeted about Sudfeld. And I put it out there. And I guess, sometimes when you put something out on social media, you assume other people read it as well.
Yep.
I got destroyed by the Giants fan base. You don't know what you're talking about. What a stupid tweet, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Don't shoot the messenger. And then sure enough, it happened.
You didn't retweet it? Like, you took his info?
What'd you say?
You didn't retweet it? You just took
No, I did. I liked it and retweeted it, but I just happened to write my own tweet like, I can't believe Jalen Hurts wants to win this game and he won't even get to finish it. And I didn't think, maybe I thought Mike was wrong, but he wasn't. I mean, Clem, did you read that anywhere?
I thought I saw something about it, but I didn't think there was a chance it would happen. I thought it'd be one of those things where I didn't even know Carson Wentz was inactive until like right before the game. I went back to the Eagles tweet. I was like, oh, Wentz isn't even in there. And then I thought I saw something about Sudfeld, but then I did see like I guess it was Garofalo or someone said he was warming up on the sidelines. And I was like, oh boy. But you know what? Like everyone always says, like this was the perfect way for the NFC East to end because it was such a crazy year. I will say, I was like the Wayne Gallman fumble. I think we all almost died when that happened, right? Like all of our souls left our bodies. And a Cowboys fan, and I tweeted today, I was like, I think I finally recovered from the Wayne Gallman fumble. And a Cowboys fan was like, you know what, guys? Like, I wish that never happened because it gave me like hope, and then it got ripped out. And I'm like, you know what? Then we had the same thing happen in slow motion on Sunday night, right? It was crazy. Now, we all thought we had it, like we had our chance, and then it all just got taken away from us. And after all that, and I didn't want to tweet it because I don't want to like battle with people anymore. You'd probably have the Eagles fans saying 6-10. I loved us this week against Tampa Bay. That's the worst part about it. I loved us this week.
What a great point. I think I tweeted, or I was going to tweet. I said, why do I have this feeling that the Giants were such a good bet and yet Washington's going to get killed?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just part of you, really.
Yeah, that's just look at your room.
You know what's funny? Also, when you mentioned that the broadcast said or whatever that he was warming up, I also in Mike's tweet he wrote, "If there's a place to play him." So in my head, I read that as, "Oh, it's not a blowout game. He's never getting in." Yeah, I was wrong.
I mean. It was a preposterous chain of events. I think we can all agree on that. And everyone was like, you Giants fans shouldn't be mad. Giants players shouldn't be mad. It's like, guys, listen, like this, I understand it's week 17. Weird things happen. That's why fantasy playoffs happen in week 16. The finals end there. It all makes sense. It's just the way it happened. And it happened at like 11 at night. If it happened at 4 p.m, it wouldn't have been nearly like a thing, but the whole world was watching. Alan Chris kept being like, if you're a Giants fan, I'm like, Alan Chris, stop.
Shut up already. Shut up already.
Well, you gotta respect
every minute, every second he was saying that.
You got to respect Collinsworth, though. He's like, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. And at the very end, he's like, I don't know if I said too much tonight, but I still don't think I could have done it. And then, of course, we get that fumble, the Redskins fumble. Like that dude could have just picked it up, and he did. Oh God, everything was like painstaking, like death by like the worst form of watching. Think about you have to watch this like this.
Clem, how long have you been a Giants fan? Like were you born and bred into it?
Yeah, my dad's not a big sports guy, but he like the Giants were the one team that he always like. He's not like a diehard Giants fan. But he was always a big Giants fan. Like I heard about Bill Belichick's defensive game plan with Super Bowl 25 my entire every single day after the game was won. And again, the guy's not even a big sports fan. He was just so amazed by it, and he always liked Parcells and like all the little jokes and the sayings he'd have. So I kind of became a Giants fan from there. But it's just one of those things, and then. To have last night, and you guys know how it is. Like it's never easy. The Wayne Gallman fumble has to happen. Evan Ingram has to drop that ball that gets picked off. It's like it can never be easy for us. It was such a cutting day.
It's funny you say that because as a lifelong Giants fan, like we all are, Giants never really had a dynasty ever in their whole existence. So. When you say something like that truly hits home. Like it's never easy. I think the easiest year was 86.
Yeah, I mean, and I was too young for that.
If you really think about it, and half the people listening to this weren't even born. So it's I would love a dynasty like the Pats had all those years. I really would. I I would love to know that I'm winning double-digit games. I'm winning the division every single year. And I know the tides turn, but I still wouldn't mind 10, 12, 15, 20 years of it.
Well, I mean, even 86, they have like the player strike, and you're not even having a real team to defend it, and it's like you could never just have it. But it is the other way though. Like we also, I feel like the Giants are the one team where they always do take down the last undefeated team, like the Broncos that one year.
Yeah.
Like the Chiefs a couple of years ago, that win came out of nowhere, and then obviously the Super Bowl, against the Pats 42, and I mean all the Super Bowl runs, they all like Jeff Haas. I couldn't even imagine again. Super Bowl 25. I that's my first big football memory. I remember. I feel like I imagine you guys were all doing the same thing. We were at a Super Bowl party at my parents' house, and we were all on the ground holding hands, praying like they were on the sidelines, right? And they missed the field goal. Nora misses it, and we're all going crazy. And that was my first big football memory. And it's just crazy how we get these magical runs, but we never have sustained excellence. Even I thought 2008 was the beginning of it. Then obviously that awful Plexico night, and it all went down the tubes from there.
I was going to say that was what did we start 10-0 or 11-0 that season?
It was 10-0 when Hostetler, and my dad is trying to tell me because back then as a kid you would look at all the rosters, you'd know their heights, their weights, where they're from, what they did. As a fan, I was like, so what? Hostetler's just as good, and my dad's like, what the hell you're talking about? Again, I was just a kid, and I rose-colored glasses. And sure enough, the Giants didn't miss a beat with Hostetler. But yeah, 10-0, Mike, 10-0.
And I actually meant that year, but also in the Plaxico shooting.
I may or may not have been at the nightclub. I may or may not have been at the nightclub. I don't know. But you damn well know if I was there, I would have taken the gun and I would have stashed it.
Every one of those, and you would have had pictures. Every one of those teams. Every one of those teams, except for I guess maybe the '86 Super Bowl where Sims dominated that game, but they were all defensive teams, all ball control, low scoring Super Bowls, and we beating these high scoring teams like the Patriots were and the Bills were. And this Clem, for me personally, this squeeze of this year has been so terrible, and then adding on the COVID, starting with the COVID, because it's the 30th anniversary of the Giants beating the Bills in Tampa. The Super Bowl is in Tampa. The Bills are very probable to go to the Super Bowl in Tampa. The Giants make this run. OJ, who we've become very close with, is the MVP of that game. We could have walked into Tampa this year under these amazing circumstances to either Radio Row or whatever the whole scenario was. 30th anniversary of the Giants party. We could have had. We could still do that, but there's so much stuff that was down this year.
Mike, I would love to just see you hustle and bustle, do the Mike Vivolo way, and trying to get up on Radio Row. It would have just been so much fun just watching you meet and greet people and you're schmoozing. It would have been a sight to behold. With the Giants there, you have OJ with you. OJ, he could tell you everything from that run. He's like an encyclopedia. He's awesome, and he's hilarious. Just a really funny guy. When you brought him to Barstool, it was great. It's like the butterfly effect. I feel like something went wrong in the Matrix back in March, and here we are now. Giants are out of the playoffs, all because of that. But you know what? Again, it's fine though. I feel like we are building something. We got Patrick Graham back, right? That was a nice little news.
That was huge. That was
huge. And I said it feels like Spagnuolo when they just made him the highest paid defensive coordinator. That was off of a Super Bowl, not a 6-10 season. But it's a guy who clearly has talent. The defense, what he did with the defense without having a legitimate edge rusher is incredible in 2020 with the way the rules are and everything. So, and it's not our secondary. I like our secondary, but we don't have the corners as much without Bradbury. We have great safeties and stuff. I'm thrilled. I feel like we're on the right path. And I talked to your brother, Mike, and he's always every week you said the Giants had a chance this week, had a chance. And I'm like, they had a chance every week. The one game they had no chance in was the Niners game. That game just got out of hand after Evan Ingram did his typical Evan Ingram thing with the fumbles. And then as the season went on, you guys get hurt and sick and whatever, it got a little dicey. But we were there all season. That's all you can ask for as a Giants fan. I think we're just going to keep getting better, man. I'm stoked.
Clem,
I love it.
Clem, I have no idea how you could pick the Giants every week. That's so unrealistic. so silly.
All right, so now that you just ran down personnel real quick there, Clem, what are we taking at 11?
I mean, I'm fine with an edge or a receiver, either or. It's going to really piss me off that the Eagles are going to take the first receiver in the draft with that pick. That pick is cursed, though. That's a cursed pick. I'm putting
that's a cursed pick, baby. It's cursed.
I mean, the thing is, though, like, how could they be more cursed than like JJ Arcega-White and Nelson Aguilar and all the other guys?
Yeah,
like,
true.
It's almost like it's gonna be like crossing the streams of Ghostbusters. 2 negatives makes a positive, and they're gonna get like the next Randy Moss out of it or something.
Did you see? You definitely saw the video? I don't know when it came out. I just saw it today for the first time. It was the Vikings War Room.
Yeah.
When they were drafting 22, right after you guys all saw that?
Yeah.
That was bananas, and they were all like laughing at it. Like, get Justin Jefferson on the phone.
Yeah,
easy.
I love that. I should have posted that again today.
Yeah,
I had to see that today for the first time. I guess because of having this pick and the karma around it, maybe it's come back around or something. But
look, I agree. I think pick 6 is going to be totally wasted. I don't know why. I'm praying for it. Don't be surprised if the Giants do something crazy and move up just to stick it to them and go up to 5 somehow.
Don't be surprised if the Eagles trade that pick because they have no capital.
Yeah, someone talked about that. You're right. You know what though? At the end of the day, whatever the Giants decide to do, I think as a fan base, you know, we're a bunch of whack jobs and we're never on the same page. But I happen to believe that on this one we are. It's edge, receiver, edge, receiver. So at the end of the day, I think this brings us together, just like the loss the other day brought us together about how we hate the Eagles.
Right. Yeah, but now you're saying it's edge or receiver, so there's going to be split. There's going to be 2 camps.
You know what? It's better than a third with this freaking fan base. Sometimes, I'll take half and half.
Yeah, and especially now that Gettleman's coming back, and you're gonna have everyone who's just gonna hate it because he makes the pick and stuff like that. And listen, I think we all agree on this. Like, Gettleman had a rough 2018 into 2019. I would love to know if it was honestly his pick, if it was his decision to keep Eli, get Saquon, and try to get those last couple of years out of Eli. Because I honestly think the Maras were so scared about the anger, like you guys saw the anger when Geno Smith went in for Eli. Of all the people you bench Eli Manning's Iron Man Street for, it's Geno Smith. Yeah. People got so mad. I think they got sugar and like, all right, we're just gonna like build around Eli. Gettleman's our guy. He knows our like system here, and he'll just do the Giants way or whatever. And I honestly think that's I think that's why he got the job. Whether or not it was like his order to like just like it was like half measure rebuild, and we got half measure results from it.
Well, let me ask you something about that. That's a really good point, Clem. I mean, I don't know about you, but I bought into that. Yes, I'm a blue colored glasses. I'm picking the Giants no matter what. No, but that's not even funny. Like I bought into one last hurrah for Eli. There was no one in the pipeline. At least right then there wasn't. Go ahead and give Eli, what did we spend? $206 million on defense? Something like that. So I really thought that going for it was the right thing to do. It blew up in everybody's faces. In the whole teams, the management, the fan base, and then everybody just took their anger out on Eli Manning. And the people that wanted Eli Manning to sit, I never understood it because you just didn't have the guy that was going to take over. You didn't. Was it going to be Davis Webb? Was it going to be Kyle Molina? Was it going to be, Geno Smith? No. So it was Eli. It was Eli. Let him go with it.
I was 100% fine with but the thing about I think if you had benched Eli for Laletta, I was calling Laletta Jimmy G 2.0, just trying to convince myself that he was going to be the answer.
Yes.
But either you bench him for the young guy or you don't bench him at all. Yes. I was more than fine moving on from Eli after that season. It's just it got so hairy, and I think so many fans got so mad. You guys heard the voicemail box was full. You saw the tweets and everything. Like, they were just getting killed. And I think they went for it. I personally I loved Eli. I didn't think they should have done it. I would have loved to have seen like Eli go to another team that like we don't hate or anything. And maybe have had like a year or two, like a Phil Rivers kind of go to the Colts, have a year on a decent team with actually an offensive line. Because I still think he had something left in him. It's just that team was built. I mean, there was no offensive line. There's still barely an offensive line there in some games. Right?
And it's funny because someone said it, and we're all thinking it. Like Eric Jackson, he's like, "There's no offensive line." Giants went $206 million on defense and did nothing to help Eli. So yes, we're all thinking it. Eric, Clem's 100% correct in what he just said. And again, I'll say it again. Putting Geno Smith in for Eli it just made no sense. It was just a smack in the face.
It's the butterfly. Sorry, Clem. Should we just run down all the hot button Giants decisions of the last years with Clem?
The Civil Wars. The Civil Wars, I call them.
We've only got a half hour.
What's the next hot topic? Let's see. What do you think about taking Saquon at 2? How do you feel about that?
All right, so I'll tell you mine, Mike. You already know. I did not want Saquon. I wanted a quarterback at 2. However, this is what totally bothers me about reliving it and about what you just brought up right now. Saquon is a god. He's great, and he was the best athlete in the draft. So there's nothing you could do about it. So I don't know why people rehash. Who did you want, Clem?
This is what I always say about drafts. Like, I'm not smart enough. Like, we see all the things we see. We read all the stuff we read. We know like 1/100th of what these guys who are just grinding. And even they're not up. Like, if the draft is like an impossible process, I was always quarterback. If I said, if you like a quarterback, you have to take a quarterback 1,000,000%. I don't think they like the quarterback. And as it's bared out, like, unless you know, and now Josh Allen comes to the Giants with like the coaching staff they had, and then goes to Pat Shurmur. Like, and the line is Josh Allen. Yeah, exactly. With the line and everything else, he's not this Josh Allen. So it's not. I'm actually like, I was thrilled the way it all played out. I thought the trade back kind of made sense, but yeah, I mean, if maybe the package was right, they could have moved back. But I honestly don't know. But I mean, I was right. Gettleman didn't pick up the phone. Yeah, that's true. That's always been my biggest criticism of Gettleman, because I do think he has some. I mean, he was great this offseason. He says things that just ignite the social media, ignites the media, it ignites the fans, and we all go crazy. The computer folk, I didn't pick up the phone, gold jacket players, generational, everything he does, and then it just becomes a punchline as the Giants lose like 5 games in a row, and. Right. It's just terrible. So,
his computer folk didn't answer the phones for him.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I was at the draft. I was praying the Giants took Rosen. Whatever. I'm just saying. Rosen would have won a Super Bowl if he came to the Giants. Prove me wrong. So you can't. Yeah. And Clem, you're right. You know, even if I hear things with my ear to the ground. You're right. We don't know anything. And at the end of the day, it is a crapshoot how a college player goes to the pros, whether he makes it or not. And a clear example of all these Giant fans that are upset right now at picking 11 and not 7 or 6 or 5. Just look at Jefferson. Okay, just take Jefferson as a great example for this year. It's true.
Can you imagine if we had to deal with him on Philly for like the next 10 years? It'd be a nightmare. It'd be an absolute nightmare. So shout out Philly. We love you guys. All the Eagles fans. Our guy, my guy Art Stapleton has like Eagles fans like swarming his mentions. They're quote retweeting him. You go at Art, you go at all of us. So United fan base once again, even after the Gettleman news, I feel like we're all pretty much on the same page. There's like the sad boy Giants fans who just like to be miserable now. I'm just like, you guys do what you got to do, whatever. Like, we'll see you back on board when we're good again. But like, this season was a grind, and I don't know, man. I'll run through. I think we're all ready to run through a wall for Joe Judge. I started the Daniel Jones, the Dan wagon, the day after he got drafted. I said, listen, I don't know if this guy's gonna be good or bad, but he doesn't. Yeah, there you go. That's incredible. That badge. I said the day after he got drafted. It's hard enough to make it in the NFL. It's even harder when the biggest city in the country hates you because you're not Dwayne Haskins. Or like, oh, they could have gotten Daniel Jones at 17 or whatever. I have people who were like, I know people in Denver who were going to take Daniel Jones. They were taking, and Washington wanted him too. And look, and there you go. Josh Rosen, Dwayne Haskins. Those are our other options. I'm happy with Daniel Jones.
And I again, sitting in front of Daniel Jones at the draft the night before at the hotel, and I said, you are going to look awesome in blue at 17. And he said, whatever it is. And when the Giants didn't pick Josh Allen, I was dumbfounded. It was cool. It was cool to get Jones. I did want him at 17. I did not want him at 6. and the rest obviously is history. And look how that unfolded as well. And by the way, like you said, this is yours.
I didn't mean seriously. I was just saying that's the most incredible thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh God, that's a sick jersey too. What an idea!
This is mine, and I went and got another patch, and we'll make sure to get that out to you, bro.
Yeah, it looks like I'm doing Clem there in the middle of that. Show that.
It does, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Clem in there.
That was my look when I had hair back in the day.
You know what? Do me a big favor though. When you put it on something, just make sure you don't get a really good look at the faces. So you got to keep it at a distance, man. They don't really do good faces on patches.
I want to go right back real quick to the Justin Jefferson example. Imagine him being on the Eagles for how awesome he is, but he also has a great touchdown celebration, and I hate when my rival teams have players with great touchdown celebrations. That would drive me crazy. My kids walk around here doing Justin Jefferson's touchdown dance all the time. I'm like, that's cool. We have nothing.
Hey, Mike, Mike, that's awesome that you just said that. Now try going to every game, because there are times during the whole week after I go that I'm like at work, like, go, Pack, go. EAGLES, Eagle. I'm singing every goddamn song that there is at these stadiums, and we have shit.
The Fly Eagles Fly could get catchy as well.
Oh, dude, after a few Bud Lights, forget it. Oh, God, yeah.
And Clem, I wanted to start this off. We just came in here just like hot and fiery.
Yeah, we thought that
was like OK Corral in here. But I wanted to start this off like something like, oh, we got Clem in here to kick off the start of the Knicks basketball season.
Yeah.
Like a reverse to like we're going to be ignoring what happened the last 2 days in Giants world. But what actually I did want to bring up, I just thought that was a funny anecdote, is the Barstool Fund. Let's shift real quick because Joe is doing some dope shit. I'm sure you've seen what he's done the last like couple months, or was it been even that long, or was it just the month of December, Joe?
So Clem, I don't know if you've seen it, but for the past probably month and a half, 2 months, I've been fortunate enough to know a person that has been getting these PS5s and Xboxes, and they're all secondhand. You know, they're all violently expensive, but when you, knock on wood, have some kind of a platform, you can make that back plus for charity. And I worked with Blake Martinez, and we got $3,500 to St. Jude's. We've bought 17 computers for St. Christopher's Inc., which is a place for an agency for troubled youth in Westchester. We raised money. I've been raising money all over the place. Well, I got to tell you, bro, I'm a big Barstool guy, and I am nuts about this Barstool Fund. When I say nuts, like tears to my eyes, been pushing it as much as I can. I can't believe the direction that this has gone. The people that have spearheaded this and continue to run it is second to none. So I put up, and again, I don't know if you've seen it, my new raffles. I have a PS5 going out. I have dinner with David Tyree, and I have dinner with Brandon Jacobs. Three different. And then I have a away game experience with LPG where I will buy two tickets to an away game. So I have these 4 things going on, and whatever the cost, after the cost of the tickets or this and that or dinner, 100% is going to Barstool Fund.
I thought I saw the PS5 stuff. I didn't see that though. But let me check that out. I during this little Christmas break, we have off, even though we're working during it, we're blogging and whatever. I'm getting my guts ripped out by the Eagles on Sunday night, and I kind of took a little break from Twitter for a little bit. Like when you don't go an entire day without tweeting, and people are like, "Hey, are you all right, man?" That's when you know you have a problem. So I was on and off for a while there, but I'm definitely going to check that out, man. That's awesome. I mean, this is what Barstool's founded on. I mean, we get a lot of we have our haters and stuff like that for, I think, kind of unfair reasons, but it is what it is. That's the way the internet cancels like Mickey Mouse these days. Like, what are you gonna? Everyone gets canceled. We've been getting hit for a while, but this is kind of what our company was built on. For the common man, by the common man's been our tagline. And small businesses. I mean, I was raised by a small business. My dad has had his pool store for 40 years, and a bunch of people out there are struggling now, and those are the people that like we write for, and the people that need us. It's the lifeblood of this country. So, and people like you, and people like Dave, and people who organize all this stuff, those are the people that are hopefully going to make everything better once, because we're going to get better. It's going to end soon, right? Promise me, like
no doubt,
it's going to end soon. So
no doubt. I mean, look, again, just the sole fact of, I don't know what it stood for. And I remember him jumping on, I remember you guys jumping on social media right away after Governor Cuomo shut it down a few weeks ago. And Dave just lost his shit. He was like, enough's enough. And then as soon as the first thing came in that he was helping someone, I mean, you went from, $100 to 17 million. And, I know we're just small potatoes, what we're doing here, but you should know that. And anybody else that's over there should know that it really hits a lot of people. I don't care who you root for. I don't care what color you are. I don't care anything about it. That Barstool Fund is sick.
Yeah, and you said it, man. Like it's every little thing. Like Dave said, like Dave cannot stress enough. Every dollar matters. These people have cashed in their 401k, their retirement. They're just cashing in just to like pay the bills, pay their employees and stuff like that. Like this. I mean, hopefully this is as bad as like the worst crisis we deal with in our lives, right? But like there's a chance that could be the case.
Gotta be it. I mean, other than losing a Philly.
Exactly. So,
having Philly lose to Washington on purpose and slowly drip. That was like an hourglass if you were like in some kind of like evil Disney movie, and like the hourglass would just keep dripping on you and like on a rope, and then the acid would burn the rope and then it would drop you, lower you slowly into a pit. Like,
boy, didn't this take a turn?
Yeah, it's like a Dr. Evil way to kill somebody, right? And like usually the guy gets the worst.
A successful Dr. Evil.
Yeah, like I would have been. That was my biggest thing. I'm old. Like that's the reason why I came on at like 8:01 with you guys. I was putting a 6-year-old who doesn't want to go to sleep, but I was up, and you guys know it is Sunday Night Football. You don't turn off the TV and go to bed. Your heart has to like settle down from like all the adrenaline rushing and everything. And I was shot. So it was sick. I almost respected Peterson if he's like, I just wanted to fuck with Giant fans. I'd be like, hats off, Doug. Like, well done.
Yes, so go ahead and say that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you know what? Our guy ended up looking the best out of this, Joe Judge. And when Joe Judge says he disrespected the game of football, that's not Joe Judge like pussyfooting around it because he's upset they lost. Joe Judge is a football guy. He's upset you disrespected the game of football. He's a crazy person. We love him because he's crazy. Yeah. He's crazy like this guy in the Joe Judge jersey right here.
Mike, that brings it. Remember what I said before? And Clem is probably 100% behind this. I said McAdoo was a great football mind. I said Shermer was a great football mind, and Joe Judge is a great football coach.
Yep, that's a perfect way to put it.
And you know what? We did have some. Obviously Coughlin was a great coach. Parcells was a big. Those are our
great everything
coaches. In between there, we had a little mishmash of not. You have to have the consistency. You want to win. You want to establish these dynasties. I think we all know this guy's 38 or 39 years old. We should have a long. We're looking forward to a nice little happy relationship with Joe Judge for the next couple of years.
And Mike, you know how happy I am that Clem said that. By the way, 8:01, because you know me, Clem. I'm like, Mike, what time? 4 or 5 o'clock? Come on, I don't want to do these 7, 8 o'clock. So I already love you like you don't believe.
He's the opposite. No, Joe's the opposite. He's like, I got to get this in. I'm getting it now. So I go to sleep. His kids stay up later than him.
It's true.
I love it. I love it. Oh God,
hey, Joe, what's the latest with the? Was there any kind of next steps to that Barstool fan thing you did, this Giants thing? Remember?
As far as what you mean when we was doing it with Deion Sanders?
Yeah, was there like was that?
No, that was just basically Deion Sanders and that crew, which is a different, I guess, Clem, different side. They were reaching out to us like, why should they give a shit about the game?
Yeah, the super fan kind of angle, right? And they were going at all like the
I loved it. I had a great time doing that. That was something entirely different. I fell in love with that too. It's too bad because I want to do something with Barstool, Mike, where I go to the away games and I'm giving a goddamn weather report somewhere. Come out every game, Clem. Make it happen.
I get one game a year where we leave the kids home with the babysitter and we do a tailgate. We get one game a year. That's all I get. I'll tell you, Joe Judge, he had like one of those. Did you see the one where he called this? He got on the Zoom with the season ticket holders.
Yeah.
And thanked them.
Yeah.
I went on that day and I was like, I'm buying season tickets. It like broke it down. It's like, holy pay $25 a month for the, they're making the PSL seem like it's free. They're doing you a favor. And then I'm like, I can't just leave my house. I was like, first of all, I work during this. I have to blog. If like Saquon got hurt that awful day, I had a blog up in 5 minutes. It just said, fuck. That's all it said.
Yep.
But I have to have something up on the blog, right? So blog don't sleep. Blog can't go on Sundays. But you could be my proxy, I guess. You could be the Barstool representative from the games.
Hey, Joe, do you ever get to go to an away game or it's only a home game?
I went to an away game with this jerk right here. He went to New Orleans.
No way. Did you really?
Wait, no, we were there with you, bro. We were in the bar, Joe, with you. Us two, my brother, and the other dude with Bob Papa.
Bob Papa was there.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yes, Cole Banks.
Chain smoking cigars.
Yes.
Bob Papa.
Oh my God, that was a long time ago.
Bob Papa was chain smoking cigars in the place. I was like, dude, how are you gonna like talk tomorrow for 4 hours straight? Like, he's like, I won't affect me.
On Bourbon Street at 2 in the morning, whatever. Yeah, that was wild. And I also went to the Bills snow game when Bradshaw ran that run and we clinched the playoff spot.
Yes.
That was awesome. I've been to Buffalo. It was the only game I've ever been to in Buffalo. The snow was coming inside. It was coming up from the ground at one point. It was rain, snow, and sleet. I've never seen it before in my life. This like kind of weather. And I've lived in New York my whole life. My jacket, my wallet, and my phone all got destroyed. It destroyed my jacket. That's how bad the weather was. But worth it. That was like one of the biggest games I've ever seen in my life in person.
Oh man, that's awesome.
New Orleans, and by the way, New Orleans this year, Clem, on schedule in New Orleans.
It is away.
I already put that. I'm already stacking the chips with the wife for that one.
The brownie points, stack them up for that. I mean, that's one way to get them out of COVID. Go down to Bourbon Street and booze for
I just mentioned it. Oh yeah, and when I go to New Orleans for every month in the and then when the season starts, like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to New Orleans, so that's gonna.
She'll be telling you by the time. Oh, Mike, you have that game in New Orleans next month.
Yeah. I think Mike's already planning that. He already told his wife that New Orleans is now in the Giants division.
Yes.
Exactly.
That was one that we went to, and tailgating on Bourbon Street is a whole new. And then you just walk to the stadium. That's a whole. It's a bucket list for anyone right there. That's incredible.
Wholeheartedly recommend. And the fans there were so awesome. Remember, we were just hanging out, and we're wearing Giants jerseys. We're being like loud. We're not being obnoxious by any means. And they're like, "Hey, come on!" They're buying us shots. So like, come over to our house later and party with us. It was just a great vibe down there. Southern hospitality, like you read about.
It's loud. It's one of the loudest stadiums I've ever been to.
Oh my God, crazy!
It was that in Atlanta. I don't like. They're just too intimidating with this. And Atlanta's owned us down there, that stadium, for the last couple of years. I've gone to a couple of away games over the last 10 years. I don't think I've ever even mentioned this to you. The years I've gone, 08, Pittsburgh on the road. Pittsburgh won the Super Bowl. Clem, whenever that was, we went there. Was that 09?
I think it was 09, yeah.
New Orleans won the Super Bowl. And then 3 years ago, I went to down in Philly, and Philly won the Super Bowl. So I've
Get out of here.
A couple of away, only a handful, and I've been to other ones. I've went to some other ones, but half of the away games I've gone to in the last 5 or 6 years or 10 years, that team is going to end up winning the Super Bowl. So,
damn, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool, actually.
You were banned from going to Philadelphia, Washington, or Dallas ever again, basically. We did not risk it.
I can go to Washington, not that away. The name of Clem's tailgate. He goes to one game a year. It's the giant tailgate, because you have to name
the giant tailgate.
The giant tailgate.
I'm in.
You'll be there somewhere.
Yeah, we get a big old bottle of White Horse, we pass it around, and then we just have ourselves a day. And it's a giant day for us. It was back in college. It was 20 people. It was all right, we're all going to get together, from college, just meet each other. And I can only imagine the tailgates that go, with the buses and stuff like that. That's our goal, is to get one of those big blue giant buses and just wheel it into the stadium and tailgate. But again, once a year, that's a big ask from the wife. I'm going to have to wait for college to get paid for before I can.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just wait for college.
I'll give you a tip of a Podfathers, because my kids are slightly older. A Podfathers hack to being a Giant fan. If you go into the office, working from home, a whole nother story. But the Monday night, Thursday night, those are the best games because I'm in the city. I'm gone already. You know, I get home, I'm there with the kids maybe like an hour. So if I just miss that hour, it's not a big deal. On Sunday, forget it. I'm missing 10 hours and I'm coming back and I'm falling on my face. But Monday,
my wife hates me on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Monday nights, it's like I was never gone. I just wake up in a puddle on Tuesday and I get back on the train and go to the city again. Like, oh.
I got you both beat because I was doing this insane shit before I met her. So now I'm it's just part of my life.
Yeah, she married that man. Like she knew what she was getting into.
She knew hey, take it or leave it. The Giants are a part of it, baby. We're a threesome.
Somewhere in Joe's hoarder basement of stuff is the Giants fan prenup that he had written. I can go into every frame on the wall.
Jesus Christ. That's nuts.
What do you think, Clem? What do you think we can get to auction off a watch party in Joe's basement?
Yeah, there you go. That's something we could do.
Dude, I'm so down. What are you kidding me? And then you know what? I might let Clem on the ceiling.
There we go. That's it. Even the ceiling. That's how you know it's legit, man. Oh my God. And he's wearing
people like, so what are you gonna do when you move? Cut that ceiling right out. I don't give a shit.
Take a little off the price.
It's over though. We missed the window.
For what?
For having a watch party in your basement. It's over.
Oh, this year. Don't worry. COVID's going to be around for 3 years. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You know, you're back in action.
No way.
What do you think? You think the doctors, frontline workers, football players? That's the order of the vaccine. Is getting
Actually, I think it's
big in this country.
Frontline workers, New York Giants players, doctors, us.
If you don't think that the NFL is doing everything it can to make sure that they get every second of that shit.
Actually, I don't even mind if like the NFL doesn't do anything to the Eagles for that. I just think that they shouldn't be allowed to get vaccinated. And I'm just saying. It could be a different type of rule. I don't know.
Goodell, that sick bastard Goodell can now use that as fines instead.
No vaccinations.
No vaccinations for you for 6 months. Montez Burfitt hit over the middle. No vaccination.
I mean, the Browns just like lost their coach for the wild card game. Like, see ya. Like that.
Oh man,
over the game. Like it's crazy that.
And you know, damn well that's not going to be the only. Something's going to break tomorrow as well. So be one or two players. It's just after not making the playoffs for 85 years, there's a little bit of me that's kind of upset for them because you don't want to go in like that. But they're going to be hit. I guarantee it's not over.
No, I mean, if you don't like the Browns and the Bills, like if you can't hope for those fans the best, like you just don't have a heart. I mean, even if you're a Steelers fan, but even like Patriots fans, Jets fans, they're like, oh yeah, man, like do your thing, Bills. Like we're rooting for you guys here. Like
Agreed.
You have to be a sick bastard to not get behind that. So, oh my God. Yeah, like Kamara last week was crazy too. Kamara got that.
What do you mean? What do you mean disagree, Mike?
There's no way that either one of you were rooting for Philadelphia on their run, and they were in the same boat as these fucks. You said
you know what, Mike? No, that you're 100% correct. And actually, that's really funny because I remember being so angry that a tremendous amount of the fan base was rooting for the Eagles to beat the Patriots. And I'm sorry, but I can't understand why people hate the Patriots. We own the Patriots. Why would you hate them? The cheating and the this and that, no problem. But the disdain enough to want the Eagles over them is mind-boggling.
That's what I'm talking about. So if you're a diehard Miami fan or Jets fan or Patriots fan, I don't think you're rooting.
I think Mike is right on that. I think you're right.
I have a blog here that I wrote. I just pulled up. No self-respecting Giants fan should root for the Eagles in the Super Bowl. And To compare Bills and Browns fans to Eagles fans, like Eagles fans are just generally, like Philadelphia fans are despised by the entire country, right? They're scumbags, Santa Claus. There's puke, like they literally pull the trigger to puke on people. They're the sickest bunch of, and like again, I almost respect how crazy they are in one sense, but like comparing them to Bills fans that just like throw themselves through tables instead of other people through tables, like it's apples and oranges. So I mean, and the thing, like the Patriots, like. Unless I can understand, maybe if you're a diehard Yankee fan, like I know, Mike, you hate Boston, right? So I
hate Boston. Yeah, I hate them.
Yeah,
hate them.
I can understand that. I'm a Mets fan, so I kind of like Boston. So it shuts all you goddamn Yankees fans up when you're in my ears all season.
Fair enough.
However, like the Patriots, we own them. Bill Belichick gave us 2 rings when he was here. Like I love the Patriots. When the Giants are out of it, I used to just root for the Patriots. It's fine.
Right.
Now I understand their fans are loud now. Yeah, I'm 100% with you. And the Eagles of all teams. The Eagles of all teams were rooting for the Eagles. That was embarrassing. Any Giants,
dude. Clem, I always say, if you're a visiting fan and you go to Philadelphia and the Philadelphia Eagles lose, you better watch your ass. If you go to Philadelphia as a visiting fan and the Eagles win, you better watch your ass. So it doesn't matter. They suck.
It's fucking miserable. This is just miserable. All right, it's full circle back to the Eagles destroying the Giants' hopes of the season. We have the 11th pick in the draft, and we have some money to spend in free agency. And we're not going to get deep down into these dollars of who we're going to re-sign on the D-line and all that stuff, which we kind of know what it is, and and these guys listening know. But do you pay a wide receiver, say one of these, A- second tier number ones that are available, or do you draft
Robinson? What'd you say?
Yeah, Robinson, Galladay, those two guys, and whoever else is available. Those guys aren't. I mean, maybe in some offices they could be the man, but they're not super standouts like a Julio or a Hopkins.
I think Robinson could be like a legitimate stud with us, but he's probably. And listen, I love Daniel Jones. I don't know how many other people are like they see the Daniel Jones I see with my blue color glasses on, but he's probably just like, I went from Blake Bortles to Mitch Trubisky. He probably is like, just give me a lamp, just give me like a QB1 that is a franchise guy. That's the thing. If that's the case, I don't think he's going to want to go with Tua, right? Because Tua's not looking so good right now. Because everyone thought there it is, dimes. They thought he was going to go to Miami. Because why the hell wouldn't you want to go to Miami, right? But
correct.
Will Fuller's out there.
Will Fuller could be a one somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a couple, but doesn't matter.
The point is, if Will Fuller in a free agency wide receiver class like now can get one money, because it's not like this class where you have all these guys are going to establish themselves at one money. Maybe it's good for Will Fuller, but if we pay him what we could pay Tomlinson or Williams, and then
now you're talking need, Mike. There's a difference in need, and when you go through free agency, you're spending A money for B players, sometimes C players.
Correct. So are you down with that, or you use that money to re-sign our line that we know and draft the need?
I mean, that's a really good question. I don't know what the Giants are going to do with both the D-line that they have to sign. I think they're going to sign them both. I really do. I don't think Tomlinson's going anywhere. I really don't. And free agency will dictate the way the Giants are going to draft. If the Giants are heavily involved in a wide receiver in free agency, then maybe they're looking for an edge. And if they go edge in free agency, then maybe they do 100% wide receiver.
I cannot foresee them letting go of both Williams and Tomlinson. I think that'd be a huge mistake.
I don't think they will, because at the end of the day,
so good.
Yeah, they could tag Williams. Yep, that's the thing. And I mean, that was the other. Like we talked about Gettleman. That trade was being mocked. I got so many Jets fans in my mentions between when the Giants skipped Arnold and they took Saquon, and then when they traded for Leonard Williams, and I'm just like, you guys are the fucking Jets. Shut up! Like, why are you? Shut up! And now, like, I was rooting for Leonard Williams to shut all the Giants fans up who were just ripping it because they hate Gettleman. But then it was just to shut up the Jets fans, and like that became the punchline. You could all take exposed half of the internet off of what they wrote before Leonard Williams. Even like when he had like 8 sacks, people were still bringing up the trade. I'm like, guys, this is a fucking home run right now. He just like. I'll take the guy off of the Jets and feel like he's going to do pretty good on his own when he's not on the Jets anymore, right? Like that seems like the good way to go about these kind of things.
You're right, Clem. There's a million receipts out there, baby. I love receipts. I love receipts.
Dude, Leonard Williams was a top, he was a stud. He was projected as one of the best players in that draft, and he just went to a crappy team. And so was Darnold in a crappy team, and so was who else knows on these guys? And so was Trubisky on a crappy team.
USC guys going to the Jets doesn't always work out the best for them, but I mean Leonard and I don't want to say like put a Hall of Famer in the same breath, but it's like it feels like he could be like the Richard Seymour of this defense, where it's like it's the guy up front who's just going to handle the business kind of a thing.
Yeah, good call.
Clem and these guys with they have the Patriots in their system and stuff like that. I wonder if that's how they view him, or like this guy's not going anywhere. But even if the guy the Jets took was that Mims that they took with that 3rd round pick, even if Mims who was it?
I have no idea.
Mims.
I thought Mims was a 2nd round pick, but whoever it was, and that was the thing is everyone wanted the center, right? The Giants could have gotten the center if they had that 3rd round pick, but Gates was like our best lineman for the season. He was a beast. He's young, and he who called him the alpha male? Was that Colombo who said he's the alpha male?
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy I want being the center.
Yeah.
The mane coming out. He's looked like Joe, mane flowing out of his helmet. Yeah. He's a goddamn lunatic. I love the guy.
And and good call, Clem, because new lineman out of position, struggled in the beginning, and became the Giants' best lineman. And by the way, was the home run champion of the Landon Collins Celebrity Softball game.
Yeah, I mean that's the measurables you don't see. That's the advanced analytics. That's the computer talking there.
He got a swing, and he was noticeably playing like a man possessed in that game the other day. And the first half, he was getting the little video of him like dropping his nuts on the dude in the end zone. Every play was someone getting into it with Gates. It's unbelievable. Guys, scrappy. Love to see that. And he's just a perfect. Oh, by the way, another reason not to hate the Patriots, we got Joe Judge out of the Patriots.
Yeah, I wrote this in my blog after they hired him. Like, I'm convinced Mara called Belichick, was like, listen, we're buddies. Like, we know Belichick loves the Giants. Like, that video of him in the locker room when he gets choked up when he returned in the 2007 season.
Yes, the Belichick.
I love that. And there was also one where he was, I think it was another it was one of those Belichick NFL Network things they did as well. And like, I feel like Mara's like Bill, give me a guy. Like, I need a guy. I need a hit here. We're 0 for 2 between McAdoo and Shermer. And he's like, I think McDaniels is going to be the guy in New England whenever Bill leaves. So he's like, listen, this Judge guy is legit. He almost went to Mississippi State, and it's crazy. Like, none of us, I think we all went to Wikipedia when we heard he got hired, right? And we're like, he didn't have a Wikipedia page. And I'm like, we just hired a guy without a Wikipedia page. That's a problem. But he's been absolutely perfect. I'm convinced Bill is the guy who like kind of tipped us off, co-signed him. I'm sure Bill wouldn't have said the same about like Matt Patricia, right? If the Giants wanted to hire him. And that's probably the reason they passed on him.
Right.
That just goes to show you how much the interview process probably works. I mean, the only thing I can equate it to is when, got hired by the Yankees instead of Mattingly, Girardi, because I think Girardi went in there and he put on his PowerPoint. I know you're a Mets fan, but he put on this PowerPoint, and 99.9 of the fan base already had Mattingly as the manager anyway. And sure enough, that interview, you cannot. If your guy comes in here, it's like going after the quarterback in the first round. If you like him, you hire him on the spot. And I guess that's what the Giants did with Judge.
Yeah. Same with Daniel Jones. Like, if you like your quarterback, you take him. Same in fantasy. I learned that in fantasy. Take a guy if you like him. Don't worry about like if you're reaching around. Take the guy if you think you can get him. Can you imagine being in an interview with Joe Judge? Like, that guy is like the most incredible like presence of all time. I'm ready to
hire me now.
Yeah, exactly. He almost probably got gotten like offered the GM spot. Marathon, like, you want to just own the Giants? You can just have you're just really a good guy. You're going to be taken to the next level.
And also his introductory press conference. Those type of press conferences are against kind of.
He said you're right, Mike. He said everything right. He had a suit that fit. The guy was on target.
He brought his family out there. Nice. Like, look at this guy. He was like my age. I was like, this guy's.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was good.
There's no question about his his football guy-ness. He wants to skip Christmas. He's got 3 young kids. He wants to skip Christmas. I was like, all right, man, you can be my coach. any day of the week.
Skips Christmas, made the coaches run laps, put the tennis balls on the players' hands, when the entire, and then you keep hearing like the media, these ex-players, oh, he's going to lose the locker room, and then you see him slide in the mud of the entire team. And like we had that all season, and obviously if they had won a game or two more, it would look a lot better. But if the Giants had won a couple of those games that really could have won either way, that Chicago game, everyone forgets, was in the end zone, and that was after Saquon got hurt. They could have won that game. The Tampa game, obviously they pick up the flag. We can go through Evan Ingram against the Eagles, all that kind of stuff. Joe Judge is in like talk for coach of the year if the Giants go 9-7 this year.
No question.
So I love our guy.
Now it's going to be Ron Rivera.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a Disney movie. Ron Rivera, Alex Smith, the changing of the name. They're living a Disney movie, and their owner is like, Kilmer from Varsity Blues. It's like he's the villain at the top of the org chain. It's great. Like he's gonna get fired. He's gonna like lose the team as they win the Super Bowl or something. It's just
it's funny. It's funny you said that. You're like, Ron Rivera, Alex Smith, changing the name. Let's go back a few. $1.8 million to settle a lawsuit against women. All right, then we go on to the Super Bowl.
The worst. He's the absolute worst, Daniel Snyder. I'm a Knicks fan. They are the Knicks of the NFL. That's just the way it goes. But I said this to my Daniel Jones hype group the other day, and I want to know if you guys agree with me. I honestly, I wouldn't trade places with any, like when you consider coach, quarterback, cap situation, and roster, long-term future, all stuff. I wouldn't trade with any of the NFC East teams. I would choose the Giants over the other three.
Not even close.
Right?
You know what?
McCarthy,
I don't know the cap. What's the cap space with Dallas?
They have cap space. They have to pay Dak though, so that's going to be, most of it's going to be gone at some point. They always do kind of like make things work. Like there's no cap, right? The Saints.
I don't know how that happens. I don't know how. You guys know as well as I do. I have no idea how the Eagles finally caught up to them, but I have no idea how Washington and Dallas does it. I have no idea how they do it.
Because they pay. Well, they don't. Dallas is not paying, or they just paid Zeke, but they didn't have to pay Zeke or Dak, and they were still winning with guys that were cheap. And teams like the Saints, teams like the Patriots, who have a quarterback that's going to be there forever, they make everyone else around them better. And the Patriots put in guys who are cheap, but they all of a sudden they become good because your quarterback is so good.
I mean,
it comes from quarterback. I think we can agree that we like where our head coach and quarterback are now more than we've had in a long time, ever since kind of if we would like to admit it or not to ourselves, that Eli was downturning in 2013 or 14, whenever he started degrading a little bit. I think we can all agree that we're on the right track, and this season was kind of an example of bumps and bruises, but learn from them.
Hey, Daniel Jones is going into his third year. Josh Allen just finished his third year. So I think the measurable is going to be that next year to see where Daniel Jones is. I am a huge Daniel Jones supporter. And next year, he's going to have me and every other Giant fan hopefully behind him. But that's going to be his year. And especially, you're going to have to market with what Josh Allen does. Sorry. That's just how I vision it. And third year, let's see what's going on.
You just got to get him a Stephon Diggs, and then we're set.
Yeah. No, that's 100% right. Like the Dabble, like that offensive coordinator, Brian Dabble, he's kind of like one of the hot names out there. They said he's put the system around him. They got Diggs. I don't know if Jason Garrett should be the coordinator, but we get that, and we got a legitimate offense and a receiver, and he's gonna have Saquon back. Like we just lost a superhero in the backfield. You forgot about that. The line gets better. I loved the way Thomas started looking at the end of the year. You can't like. Andrew Thomas playing his best game against Dallas. Leonard Williams playing his best game against Dallas. Like when the guys show up for the big games with playoffs on the line, that's the kind of guys I like. And listen, you guys know what I'm saying when I say this. A guy like Leonard Williams, big dude, 99, hair out of the helmet. That's a guy I just see in Lambeau during a playoff run, just picking guys up, right? Like that's the kind of guy. Like so, I feel good if we keep Leonard Williams around just because of that more than anything. But I think Daniel Jones,
who's that as well?
Who?
Chase Young.
Oh, yeah.
Who's that? I don't even know who that is.
Hey, I was 100% fine if they had lost that game a couple of years ago. But hey, if Andrew Thomas does what he does to Chase Young every single game they play like he did this year, it'll be fine. He'll cause havoc against the other 14 games.
Yeah, Clem, you nailed it with Jason Garrett. I believe that unfortunately the offense took a big step back. If the Giants kept Gettleman, and I tweeted this, I don't know, last week, I said if winning means one more year, or losing means firing. I'm okay with winning, try and get into the playoffs and get them in one more year. However, when that press conference goes off tomorrow, I don't want to hear business as usual. I like the direction the team is going. I don't want any of that. We're still not where we have to be. We might need to get rid of somebody, and that somebody might be Jason Garrett. Maybe he does go get a head coaching job.
I mean, if any team would do it, it's the Chargers. I mean, that team is just crazy. They don't care about anybody's feelings. They hate their fans. Whatever fans are still alive or are even around, man, because they just don't care. When I saw that report, and I mean, we that was the day that everyone forgets this now. The day Joe Judge got hired, it was like Matt Rule goes to the Panthers. We're like, wait, what? We don't even get an interview with him. Then it was Jason Garrett interview with the Giants. So like, then Twitter is just dunking all over us. Then we hired Joe Judge. So everyone's like, who the fuck is Joe Judge? Then it was like, I was actually right. It was like, if Garrett's the offensive coordinator, that's like, if you tell me him or a head coach or coordinator, give me as a coordinator. However, I think like, it sounds like the Mariners kind of put him on Joe Judge, right? That sounds like they wanted kind of a guy who had experience.
That's correct.
So, I think he's earned the right to be like, I want my own coordinator.
Hey, hence how Colombo got here, because Garrett wanted Colombo.
And we would have Callahan potentially, who went to Cleveland instead.
Right.
Killer.
Right.
Absolute killer.
Going into hour 2 of our conversation with Clem.
Get out of here. I'm going to bed.
I'm just kidding. Dude, Clem, love you, man. Thanks so much. We got Joe got to come to the Giant tailgate, which is about going to be 9 or 10 months away. Joe has to become the viceroy for the Giants away games. For the Barstool Viceroys, that actually would be interesting. Doing a super fan viceroy of a person like in every game. That'd be kind of cool.
Come on, Clem, make it happen, Clem.
I mean, that football show that they do, the Dion show that they do. I mean, their season 2, they could just do stuff like that with it. I think that kind of fits. So
Barstool has you do the Mets podcast. They have the Yankees podcast. Do they have a bunch of different individual team podcasts? Not really, right?
They have Talking Giants.
That's John Boy.
It's John Boy.
We thought about doing like a New York City podcast at one point. And we kind of just merged the Mets one, and people have asked for a Giants one. This is the thing, though. I don't know. A lot of my coworkers, I don't know how much they like the Giants right now. Like they've been a little more negative than I am, but I'd love to do it down the road, but I want the team to I wanted the team to be decent. Like I just can't, like if I had to do a podcast during the 2018 season, I would have lost my mind, but you know what I mean? But like with Joe Judge, he's done, he's delivered everything he promised he would. I'd be down for it in the future. People have been asking that a lot. So maybe in the future, we'll have you guys on.
Tell me you maybe have a name of it.
I did have one too. I did have one. It was something. I mean, it was like a blue pun or something like that. I mean, I might just call it the Joe Judge Report. Just steal his fucking YouTube. I mean, I'm all Joe Judge at this point. I watch 20 minutes of him talking about special teams plays. I'm like breaking down tape. Like I even know what I'm looking at. Just because I love the guy, I just can't get enough of him. So.
That's awesome. Hey, Clem, thank you so much, man. This is awesome. Send me a DM with somewhere to send this thing, and I'll get it out to you.
You're the man, dude. And seriously, thanks for doing that thing with, obviously all the other charity stuff too. But the Barstool Fund, I'll tweet that out too. I missed that thing. That's awesome. And,
no doubt.
We're in this together, boys. I mean, the negative Giants fans, the positive Giants fans, the realistic Giants fans, whatever you consider yourself. I mean, it's just nice to have something that even if we get our guts ripped out, it felt good to feel something again, right? Like that's
damn right.
Like I miss feeling my guts getting ripped out like they did in the mid-90s. If this Knicks team does that to me again, at least I feel something at the end of the season. It means more than like not looking at mock drafts in October.
No doubt, man. Thanks so much, brother.
See you guys.
Welcome to True Blue with Mike Viv and L.